welcome to the Jim Norton Show. I should probably let that play longer. I'm just such an eager asshole. I start talking 3 seconds into my theme music.
Couldn't wait to hear your name.
Yeah, I just couldn't, first chord. It's Jim Norton here. Don't turn off. Finally live, which is good. We didn't have the facilities last week to be live. And let me give out the number if you want to call in. We have phone capabilities. 866-4-RAW-DOG. But this is the number he gives me. 1-866- it's like a psychopath. It's the fucking numbers in Lost on the hatch.
That looks threatening.
1-866-4-729-364. So we'll take certain bit requests or whatever. And I guess to start off, do you follow? Amy Schumer is here, by the way. Last week we had a whole thing.
She's here.
Yes, she has made it. There was a whole misunderstanding. Do you follow baseball at all?
I used to. Will glance at Mets scores every once in a while. I watched the Met game last night, but that's kind of as much of sports as I follow.
Are you aware of what's happening with the no-hitter?
No.
There was a no-hitter thrown last night in Detroit. There's only been 20 in history.
Oh, right.
And the final out was a ground ball, and the guy was safe, but the umpire called him out. After the game, the umpire admitted that he blew the call. He made a mistake. So this guy got robbed of the historical event. Oh. And then I found out that Bud Selig, the commissioner of baseball, is not going to change the call to make it right. And this is why baseball just sucks. It's why it just sucks. Watch MMA, watch the UFC. I mean, Dana would have stepped in and fixed that in a second. Everybody knows this guy got fucked. And this asshole
changing history
will not fix it. It's like, sometimes you just got to do what's right. It's like, something got fucked up, fix it.
Right.
So that's it. That's
like,
my baseball
if you can
talk.
fix it, why not fix it?
Yeah, because they're like, well, it's going to, what about the next call that goes wrong? Or
right.
How about you fucking fire these guys for getting it wrong?
Give us something to be excited about.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to kill themselves all the time. Why not make history happen?
And be nice. Yeah, why not? Exactly. Why not do something right? People would probably appreciate it if he goes, you know what? This guy got screwed. All right, fuck, I'm not going to babble about baseball. It's not sports radio. I just found that out because I took a nap after Opie and Anthony. I took a nap and came back, and I'm so cranky. But I'm happy that you're here. You look very tan. And
thank you, yes. I was in Mexico.
For what purpose?
A destination wedding. The greatest things in the world. Yeah, I was in a wedding in Mexico.
Destination wedding is just one that you have to go to?
Yeah, it's one that's like not anywhere near where anybody wants to go. We were in Playa del Carmen, which is like an hour from Cancun, and I just thought, well, where we stay anyway, what a dump.
Right.
And it was like, we couldn't have just like gone out to Long Beach or something in New York and had margaritas. Like she made us all go to goddamn Mexico to watch her black out at her own wedding.
Oh, did she black out?
Oh, hard.
Is she drunk?
And she made a speech. Yeah, all my friends are drunks, but she's like my drunkest friend. I talk about her in my stand-up. Like, they made me change her name at Comedy Central. Oh. Her name's Denise in real life. But, you talk about someone from their real life that they make you sign a release.
Yeah, they're panicky.
Yeah, but Denise doesn't care. And my joke about her was that I should have known she was a slut the day she moved in with me in college, because she was one of those girls who could put her whole fist in her vagina. She didn't know anything about AIDS. I was like, Denise, you should go get tested. This is all true. I was like, you should get tested because you're like a huge slut. And, you let your friends know. And she was like, I don't need to get tested for AIDS. And I was like, what? You slept with the busboys at Applebee's. Like, bring your dirtiness. And she actually said to me, I don't need to get tested for AIDS. I don't even have any lesions.
Oh.
I'm like, you don't need to look like Tom Hanks at the end of Philadelphia or the monkey from Outbreak. Like, you're probably infested. So, but when I called her, I was like, will you sign this release saying that you're like a huge slut? She was like, of course. Like, she was so, yeah, I did that at Caroline's. Like, I talked about her when I opened for you, and she jumped up out of her seat. She's like, I'm Denise. I'm like, you should be proud of what a whore you are. So yeah, it was her getting married.
That's great. And the thing that I don't want to glance over is she really could put her whole fist in her vag?
No, that's the only part of the story. Well, you know what? It's very possible. If any of my friends can do it, it's definitely Denise.
By the way, this is what an asshole comedian I am.
You fixated on that the whole time?
I did. I just asked the comedian about a punchline in a literal sense. I really am a dope.
Yeah, what happened to you? But the rest, no, I said it's true, because everything else is true except for the fist.
Because that really, in a way, it oddly turned me on, and there was something really fucking dirty about girls. I'm not into fisting at all, but there's something very dirty. I'm really not. I think it's kind of, very few things really violate me sexually. Yeah. But that one to me is a little weird.
Even if somebody has baby arms?
Baby arms are kind of acceptable.
How cute would that be?
Like the ice cream man who always had the short arms.
Yeah, just like, little, like a T-Rex. Yeah. I'd be like, let's try fisting. Let's do it.
I think there's something really angry about it. That's why I'm not.
Yeah, that's pretty aggressive. You want to get your fist in there. That seems pretty angry.
Was that me thinking that I'm really socially aware and just saying something really obvious? Like, I think fisting is angry.
Yeah. You're like, I've cracked the code. I think this might be aggressive behavior. Yeah, I think but putting a foot, that's That's a whole other ball game.
I know, because then they both smell worse in the end.
You get athlete's badge.
So what do you? So you're in Mexico for how long? How long did you go for?
I was there for like 3-4 days.
And what'd you do in the wedding? You were just one of the bridesmaids?
Yeah. It was very laid back. My friends are all total dirtbags. But this weekend I heard the worst blackout story I've ever heard in my life. I one time came out of a blackout. You know, like when you're awake. Only one time did that happen to me where I was awake and I came out of a blackout and a total stranger was going down on me. And I was like, what? And I had a boyfriend at the time.
Wow.
And I'm like, get the fuck out of here. Like this poor guy, you know, because I just throw him out of my apartment. And I'm saying to my friends, like, how could you let me bring a stranger home? You know, I have a boy. And they were like, you guys were acting like a couple all night. They said we were like walking around the bar, like, hey guys, it's us. I didn't remember meeting. I couldn't have picked him out of a lineup. So they like pointed him out to me, this dude.
Oh.
You know, a couple weeks later, they're like, and I went over. I was like, hey man, like, so sorry. I'm sure I was asking for it. I probably pushed his head down there. And I'm like, how dare you, my precious. But anyway, that story was nothing, okay? One of my friends.
Were you attracted to him when you saw him the next time, or were you like, wow?
No, I was like, I blew it. He was such an asshole, you know, just like not my type at all. I think he was like a finance guy, and that's like not, that makes my vagina shut.
Yeah.
So my friend this weekend told me that her college roommate, like my friend Andrea was complaining. She's like, oh, I had the worst night last night. And her college roommate goes, oh, really? Because I came to, out of a blackout, getting fucked in the ass on my front lawn by a stranger. No idea. And so, like, Andrew's like, oh, maybe you had a worse night than me. Like, on her front lawn, in the ass, stranger.
How
like,
great is that?
People were probably driving by, like, thinking it was, like, some kind of a bad, like, lawn gnome.
Performance.
Or, like, those deer that you can make look like they're fucking each other. Can you imagine? What could be worse than that? And in the ass. Like, that just really makes it.
Oh, how humiliating.
Oh, what a dream.
Did they finish, or did she push them off, or did she actually fuck them?
I was wondering that. I don't know if you finished or what, but I'm like, I bet she was like looking around at like the landscaping, like, it would be a nice time of year for daffodils out here. Why don't we change this up?
My drinking stopped when I was 18, so I never had those experiences. I was a bad alcoholic when I was young. I never
By 18?
had. Yeah, I knew it was a problem, but I didn't get laid a lot, so I never had the wake up with a stranger experience. But
it's easier if you're
horrifying.
A girl. It's a lot easier if you're a girl. I know guys will like roll over and be next to some monster, but there's something about coming out of a blackout when you're awake. You know, it's not like, oh wow, how did I get home last night? You're like, where am I? Like, I've had friends wake up naked, like come home and holding a blanket over them. And it's like, you can't be like, I suspect foul play ever, because you got yourself into a terrible blackout. Like, it's on you.
Right.
You know? So that's why I really went over and apologized. Because can you imagine if a girl's like all over you, all of a sudden you're going down on her, and she's like, what the fuck? Get out of here. I can't imagine if it was reversed and a guy did that to me. That would be like,
how humiliating.
Oh, God.
Because you think your performance is terrible.
For a girl, it's humiliating. For a guy, you're like, oh, this crazy bitch is going to say I raped her. That's like, I feel like every guy's huge fear, the R word.
It is scary. You know who I learned it from? Believe it or not, Rich Voss, as dumb as he is, made some brilliant points. And he's actually a faithful husband, which makes me sick. Like, he really doesn't cheat on his wife.
Yeah, but Bonnie's super duper hot.
But that never matters, you know.
Yeah, that's true. You're right.
We're garbage.
There's always a guy tired of fucking somebody.
Absolutely.
Okay.
So Voss taught me years ago that when you after you fuck a girl in a hotel room or you fool around, always walk her down. Because what he would do is, he said he would let the person see him joking and laughing in case she ever said that he raped her. Because people feel bad.
That's smart, but that is so funny. Because you know that girl was like, and then he walked me to my car. We're in love. But no, he was just trying to not get an arrest.
And he thinks that would actually be admissible testimony. Like, ask the clerk if we were smiling.
Yeah. I gave her a noogie. The girl's like crying. He's like, wave to everybody in the lobby, sweetheart. You're on camera.
But I remembered that advice because look, I've had some instances where you don't have a good connection at the end. Mm-hmm. But I think Desiree Washington said that after her and Mike Tyson fucked, if he had just walked her downstairs, because she felt that he raped her, but she said she never would have pursued it. So that he was just dumb. He probably just bullied, get out, bitch, after he was done.
Oh, yeah.
Which is a bad move.
Yeah. Then girls are like, feel rejected. And I think women are definitely capable of some crazy, crazy shit. It's the Salem witch trials, but with your pussy.
Wow, that's what a great bumper sticker.
Thank you.
All right, so we got to get to a clip. Let's take one phone call. Let's go with. How about number 3? I'm not doing any fucking order. Just the third call down.
Ooh, number 3.
If they don't know, they're number 3.
Hello. Oh, you're right. I'm sorry, Connor. Sorry.
What's up, Jimmy?
Hey, buddy.
I also have woken up getting fucked in my front yard.
Yes? Oh, congrats.
Yeah, by Yaphet
No, I
happens.
haven't.
All right.
So what's going on? I don't really know what's going on here. I just got your tweet and thought I'd call up. I'm down in Louisiana cleaning up oil. I haven't heard anything in 3 weeks. I haven't heard anything.
Oh, you're listening to the show now? So you're just a guy who got a tweet and is calling? You're like a fucking psychopath. We're doing a live show.
Wait, you're cleaning up the oil in Louisiana?
Shit, yeah.
How's it going? What are you doing?
I'm
how's it
sucking
going?
up. It's going. It's hitting here pretty hard today. We've got a 8x8 mile stretch coming in.
I don't know. How do you feel about it, Jim? I feel like the oil spill down there, it's like coming on a girl's face. Like, you don't have to clean it up, but it would be nice. It would be really nice. So thank you, Connor.
Wait, Amy makes a brilliant point. And how are you cleaning it up?
We're out here on a boat with like a hose coming off it, but there's all sorts of shit. Booming it off, sucking it up, whatever.
All right, well, you sound
get back to work.
Yeah, this is a little different than cleaning cum off the face. I mean, that's just you put your hand through a sock like a puppet and you know.
Is that's your technique, Jim?
Yeah.
Oh, that's really nice.
Exactly. Close your eyes. Dab, dab, dab.
I just got my head dunked in the toilet. I'm like, thanks. Thanks, sweetie.
You rule. Amy Schumer, one of my favorite comics. We work together all the time. It's really weird for me because I'm on Opie Net. They usually do all the fucking coming in and out of breaks. I'm not good at that yet. So I guess we'll go to a comedy clip. I got a request from somebody who requested Patton Oswalt, and Patton's a buddy of mine, so I'll play. I don't know what clip they're going to play for Patton Oswalt because I've never listened to his CDs. And we have some people on the line. Maybe we'll play one of your clips, but stay on hold, and I guess we'll play a clip and come back. Is that too awkward a way to walk out?
Yes.
All right. Here's a clip.
Oh, my God.
I gotta start working out or just making up creepy excuses so no one...
We're back with the Jim Norton Show. I feel like such a pompous ass saying that.
It's hard, yeah.
It really just happened to my low self-esteem.
Yeah,
Like
but I think it's just something you have to get over.
Yeah, I think so, too. It's part of having a radio show is you have to introduce it. You
Yeah.
just talk.
Yeah.
And so if anybody wants to call, the number is 866. I can't say 866 for some reason. 1-866-4-RAW-DOG is the number. We're on Sirius 104 XM 150. Amy, one of my favorite acts, going to be where?
Oh, I'll be at the San Jose Improv, headlining June 9th through the 14th.
9th through the 14th, and I'm being Caroline's tonight through Sunday, 212-757-4100. Comedians are always awful with plugs. To me, we're never good because we don't feel naturally like we deserve people to come see us.
I know. And I'm like always kind of hoping that it's the first time everyone's seen me. Like when someone's like, "We're here," I'm like, "Oh God." But I mean, of course, it's a natural part of the business.
Now you've been headlining, and you feature, you headline.
Yeah. I only feature for you and Attell.
Oh, okay. So most of the time you're actually headlining the rooms.
Yeah, yeah.
What's worse? And I've been through this many times. That when you're doing a gig and it's a light crowd, and you see the staff sitting in the back, and you know it's your fault,
and they're not making any money because of you.
Oh,
yeah. That's like every weekend for me. So
are you experiencing that?
A little bit. Yeah, for sure. Like, but I am also like, well, what do you expect? I'm a newer headliner, so. You know, that's how I make myself feel better. I'm like, well, what did they expect?
You start getting aggressive in your mind, like, well, fuck them.
Totally. But I'm such a sensitive comic. Like, I'm such an asshole that I care if everyone on the staff likes me, like, more than the audience. I'm like, hey, is that bartender, like, mad? They're like, she just had an abortion. No. I'm like, oh, like, we think everything's, like, about us.
It's self-centeredness in the extreme. By the way, these S's are really loud, so I apologize. A lot of people complain about the bandwidth on this, so if it sounds like the bandwidth is kind of shitty, it's not my fault, so stop emailing me about it. I don't fucking program the satellite.
People email you about bandwidth?
Yeah, it's amazing. Dude, the sound quality. It's like, I don't run it like that.
It's like, just give me compliments. What are you?
Exactly. I want accolades or nothing.
That's it. I
got a little bit of hate mail after the last one, which was kind of hate mail never bothers me, but I just respond hatefully back.
What's in general, what kind of hate mail? Like, is there something people focus on with you?
Yeah, you suck. I mean,
just general.
Yeah, they kind of get right to the point.
Yeah.
On Opie and Anthony, I've gotten much more of it, whether it's over Islam or race or whatever you're talking about.
Okay, yeah. And you're like, well, people are going to disagree, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, with girls, they go straight to physicality.
They do, right?
Yeah, boom, right away. And we're, like, so sensitive about that stuff, so it's like, oh, geez.
But I don't have that. Affected by that stuff.
I don't have that one thing that I'm really, like, insecure about, you know?
Right.
Like somebody wrote they posted all these things on YouTube of me on Opie and Anthony. Like, just, you know, a still shot of me and then playing the audio. And, like, it was all really nice, but one guy's like, she has fat arms, fuck her. And I'm like, okay. You know, it rolls right up. if I had that one thing, like I used to be embarrassed because I thought my ass was too big, and now I'm like, no, like I'm owning this shit. You know, I'm happy to have an ass now.
And Amy got a lot of compliments. We walked by the fucking Shade Studios.
They all like, I thought a cell block opened up. Everybody ran out into the hallway.
Yeah, you're right. It goes right to physicality.
Yeah, for girls.
Which is why it's like, you know, whenever they say women in comedy or the ladies of, I mean, I understand that, like, hey, you want to perform so women do it. But I never really cared about that stuff.
Yeah, I know that. I know that's true about you. But also, I'm such a shallow chick. Like when someone's like, "You're hot," and like if that stops, I'll be like, "Wait, what about like stop complimenting my charisma. Let's focus on my tits a little bit more. Like what about, you know?" So it goes both ways. I want that attention also.
But you seem to be, the thing with you that's so good is like you do seem above being sexualized because you embrace it and make fun of it.
Yeah, I'm like, yeah, totally. Somebody was like pitching a show idea to me and like, do you mind if we're kind of sexual? I was like, I'm the most sexual girl I know, so, and I want to embrace that. I feel like I've got, you know, a decade left where I'm good to look at, so I'm like, please, let's use whatever we can.
So when they insult you physically on YouTube and stuff like that, it doesn't really, because I know female comics that it's actually bothered a lot.
Yeah, I think it's because I don't have that one deep insecurity, and because, you know, people will be like, you're so hot, and then so I feel the compliments the same as I feel the insults. Like none of it really means anything, because everybody's experience is different. It's like, as a younger chick, I was like, I would like to know that I'm good looking to the general population. Right. And I feel like I am. I feel like I like I say in my act, like you'd bang me, but you wouldn't blog about it. Like I'm not like a supermodel. I don't think I am. I know the difference between me and like one of my good friends who's dating a Nick. Like she's gorgeous. She walks in a room, the energy changes. It's almost uncomfortable when somebody like really, really attractive comes in the room, you know, because you're just like so focused on it if they're really gorgeous. So I'm like, you're not going to be threatened. I'm going to steal your boyfriend, but you'd still probably fuck me after a couple beers, and that's fine with me.
She's dating one of the Knicks?
Yeah.
What did she say that he has a big penis, being a basketball player?
I never asked her.
Really?
But she's the coolest chick ever. She's really, really awesome. So if I asked her, I know she would tell me right away. I know that the sex must be great though, because she's a sexual girl. I'm sure. Yeah.
But then again, I think if you're a basketball player, you can kind of make up for being a lousy fuck or a mediocre fuck just by getting them courtside seats.
Yeah. I think it depends. Like, I don't think I could stay in any relationship if the sex wasn't amazing.
What constitutes, not graphically, physically, but like, what kind of a connection do you need for sex to be good? Like, for me, if love is involved, it fucking wrecks it. Like, I can love you after, but don't tell me you love me while I'm fucking.
I've never said, I can swear on this, I've never said, slow down. I'm like, let's do this. Like, love has made me, with sex, it has made me really uncomfortable. Right. But I need there to be an intellectual, like that makes it way better. Right. I've fucked really stupid, dumb as rocks guys before, and it's not anywhere near as good as someone who, I don't know what it is, like just some connection, like you're a little bit afraid of them almost. I don't know. Right. Like you're looking at each other like you want to kill each other. That's what I like. I have to be sexually attracted first, emotionally attracted second. Like if I'm emotionally attracted first, like, oh, this person is terrific, and I don't really care about fucking them. But if I have lust and like I want to smell their armpits and be a piece of garbage, then if I like them, it's like, wow, what a plus. But to me, the sexualizing has always got to be first. Right. Yeah, and it's the same. Like for a guy, like I've dated some like really like ugly dudes, but like lately I've been dating good looking guys, but it does not matter. Like that shit is lost on me. My last boyfriend like was like jacked, and I was like, that doesn't do anything for me. And he was like, he was like super hot, but the sex never really caught up to us, I guess. That happens. Yeah. All right, we okay? We have to go to a commercial? Boo! Boo, commercials! We hate money. I like when radio guys go, well, time to pay the bills. People understand why we have commercials. How long will these be? A couple minutes? It's not going to be an endless thing of commercials. Just stick around with us. All right, just a couple of minutes. Let's do one quick call before we go, because people are waiting on. Let's go with Andrew in Long Island, who's yelling, play Eddie Murphy.
Well, actually, it's not just Eddie Murphy. You got to play Richard Pryor's Eddie Murphy.
We get it. You like black people, Andrew.
Exactly. You're gay and you love
You know
blacks.
something? I actually don't like Richard Pryor. I only like when Eddie Murphy does Richard Pryor. The same thing with also Bill Cosby. I don't like Bill Cosby. I like when Eddie Murphy does Bill Cosby. So yeah, I guess it's a black thing.
So how old a guy are you? I'm fascinated by anybody that doesn't love Pryor. Honestly, are you in your 30s?
35 years old. 30. Actually, I'll be 35 this year.
It's funny, you were in that generation where Murphy's like Delirious was the big one, but I can't comprehend not liking Pryor. But you know, again, you love Murphy. That's just a matter of taste. But you don't like. You think Pryor sucks, or you just don't like him?
You know something? I've wanted to like him, especially since Eddie Murphy liked him, and I actually remember going into my basement and trying to listen to him, stealing actually the Richard Pryor tapes from my dad, and trying to not play it too loud so my mom could hear it, and I just couldn't get into it. I just said, screw this crap. Let's get actually Delirious back on a Raw. All
right, that's just your taste. We'll do this just to honor what you said. When we come back, we're going to play fucking a Richard Pryor bit called Eulogy off of Is It Something I Said? And we'll see if we can find some Eddie Murphy for you.
Fuck.
All right, we'll see if we can find some Eddie Murphy.
I'm canceling my subscription. That's it.
Come on, Andrew.
Yeah, no, come on. At least he's black. You'll like it. Trust me. All right?
All right, thanks.
All right, take care, man. I'll be back in a couple minutes.
Welcome to the Jim Norton Show.
Thank you, Amy. I feel like I have an announcer.
Yeah, you looked like you were in pain having to say it again.
My little lips were quivering, my thin, unkissable lips. And Judas Priest. I wanted to get a whole bunch. We have to get a bunch of better songs to come back with. I wanted Electric Eye, but they don't have it yet. So hopefully next week we'll have some fucking songs that I enjoy more. And we're going to get to a Pryor clip in a second. We're going to play a couple of clips of the show. But I want to go to Nancy in Staten Island on the phones.
Hello?
Hello, Nancy. How are you? You're on with Jim and Amy.
Hi, Nancy.
How do?
Hi.
Hi, I just wanted to call and tell Amy how smoking hot she is.
Nancy, thank you. You know that's what I want to hear.
Well, my girl and I were watching your Comedy Central special, and, I've seen and heard you before, and I was looking at you, and I thought, well, she looks like everybody I went to sleepaway camp with. And then you open your mouth, and you're hilarious, and you're smart. And then I couldn't stop looking at your legs.
Oh, thank you. Is it wet in here or is it me? Nancy, I've never kissed a girl where it counts, but you and your girlfriend sound really special.
Well, I think you're pretty special, Amy, and I just wanted to tell you, smoking hot, and you're Jewish, right?
Kind of.
Kind of.
Are you Jewish?
I'm Jewish. I'm Jewish enough to talk about it on stage. For sure, yeah.
That makes you the total package.
Thank you. I'm gonna hop on a ferry. I hope it doesn't crash. I'd love to come see you guys out there.
Well, I'll wipe off my mouth and give you someplace to sit when you get there.
Oh, that is too sweet. That was
almost creepy. What's in your mouth that's so offensive?
What's in my mouth that's so offensive?
You just spit. You're gonna wipe drool off your mouth. That was kind of creepy.
I liked it, Nancy.
No, I said I would wipe my mouth off so she had someplace to sit. Jim, I'll think about it.
Are you a lesbian, or you just kind of play both ways?
Oh, I don't play.
Oh, you're just into women?
Yeah, just strictly Gold Star.
All right, cool.
You like your fish without the bone.
Yeah, I totally didn't call to talk to Jim at all. Although I think he's filthy and hilarious. I called to talk to Amy because she's smoking hot.
I understand.
Thanks,
I was a
Nancy.
springboard for you to get your face in Amy's vag. Congratulations.
Hey, however you get there, it's fine with me.
All right.
Thanks, Nancy.
Thanks, Amy.
Is that uncomfortable or no?
Not for me.
Okay, cool. No.
I've really never gone in that direction, but I imagine at some point I'll have to.
Yeah, just for the story.
Just for the life experience. I don't know. I've been really attracted to girls before, but I've never done anything about it.
Who have you been attracted to? Not
like celebrities.
Right.
Yeah. Well, the first time was at basketball sleepaway camp, and my roommate was this chick Kiana, and I was like, Kiana, I really think I'm a lesbian. I'm really attracted to this girl Nicole, and she's like, Amy, that's just because she looks like a dude, and you can see the guy for 2 weeks. I was like, oh, okay. But since then, I've had a couple really close calls with some girls on the road. Actually, I've come closer to hooking up with a girl on the road than a guy. Although I've really never done either.
What's a close call? Where you make out or where you're hanging out?
No. I've never even made out with a girl.
But there's vibes. You feel like you could if you wanted to.
Yeah. One time I got in a really weird situation. Me and this girl, we're both we were wasted in Charleston, South Carolina. We both were like, let's see who has bigger nipples, and we're taking our shirts off, and it was It got really intense, and I think about that all the time, but we never actually did anything about it.
All right, we got Amy Schumer in studio, who's, for those of you that, a lot of you have seen Amy and I work together, or you've seen her on Last Comic. She's hilarious. And your special got amazing reviews on Comedy Central. People loved your special.
That's awesome. I really worked my ass off on the road trying to get, better, so it's really cool.
But that's why it was great. You looked good. You looked comfortable. The material was funny. I mean,
thanks.
It was like you were someone who should have had a special.
Thank you. Yeah, people, like, when I was like, I'm going to wear a skirt, they were like, what, are you going to wear leggings? Or I was like, no. I was like, look, people see a female comic, they, like, flip right away. But if maybe they see some skin, maybe they'll stay tuned, like, long enough to hear something.
Right.
And if I could choose my own background, they don't do that anymore, but I would have had, like, tits or something. Because, it's like all guys that watch that. I walked around today all day for Comedy Central for, like, this internal video asking people, and, like, all the girls were like, we've never heard of it. Yeah, they, like, didn't know, but they're like, oh, The Daily Show, I guess. But it's all guys. Their demographic is so clear that I was like, I know what guys, like, will stay tuned at least for another second for. Right. Even if it's to insult me and tear me apart. Like, they'll listen to the jokes.
Did the honest comment bother you or no?
No. I don't give a shit.
Yeah, you're thick-skinned.
Yeah, and I'm thick, period.
No.
No, I know. I like that stuff. Like, I know, I say, like, one guy really came up to me in this bar, and he's like, I like you. You're like a big girl, you're like a bigger.
That's great.
He's like, you look like you could take a punch.
Wow.
I was like, what the fuck?
I know.
Like, I don't need a stranger.
That's nice.
I know. I'm not like, I know I'm not like a pixie. Like, if a pyramid's being made, I know I'm a base. Like, I know where I am in the trifecta, but whatever. It's cool with me.
All right, we're going to go to a clip. We got a Pryor clip I want to play, and this is off of Is It Something I Said? This is Eulogy. And the guy who wanted the Eddie Murphy clip, I think we're going to find that for you, too. We'll get to that. And we'll be back. Jim Norton, I'm here with my friend Amy Schumer, and we're hanging for like another half hour.
We are gathered here today
Welcome back to the 3-song collection of Jim Norton on the Jim Norton Show. We'll have more songs next week, but this is not Delette. This is a different system they use on Raw Dog, hence the shitty song choice. Not shitty songs, but there's only a few of them. 866-4. I really have a speech thing. I cannot say that. 866-4 Raw Dog. I'm here with my friend Amy Schumer. It's so weird saying my guest. It's my friend Amy. We've worked together many times. People are loving you.
Really?
Yeah, really are. I forget that you can't see the phone screen. I want to go to Fontaine in Virginia, who I know he calls the Opie and Anthony Show all the time.
Hey, guys.
Hi, buddy.
Hey, I didn't hear the thing. You fuck!
All right. Let me explain where that comes from. My mother, when I was a kid, I had Zim-Zam, which was like a little tennis thing, and my mother was helping me move it. It was a giant cement thing, and she said, don't drop it. And I'm like, I won't. Then I dropped it, and it smashed on her finger, and she went, Jimmy, you fuck! So that's where that comes from.
Yeah, you can never forget when your mom, like, lashes out and loses her shit.
She called me a fuck. I could never heard my mother say fuck before. So what's up, Fontaine?
Hey, Jimmy, I got a question for you, but Amy, I got to tell you, I haven't heard any of your material yet, but I'm loving the personality, so I know the material is going to be amazing once I do hear it. I can't wait for your DVD.
Thank you. Thanks.
Hey, Jimmy, I hear you talk about Keith Robinson a lot, and I've heard him on the show.
Yes.
Please tell me this lazy guy has a CD out somewhere that I can get his material.
I don't know.
He sells it out of the back of his van.
Yeah, he really does. He opens the doors of his fucking 83 Plymouth. I should have said trunk, but he opens the doors. What an asshole.
All the doors.
Yeah, no, Keith does not have a CD. You're right, Keith is lazy. He has no business sense. And he's really funny, too. He should have a CD.
He's hilarious.
He has a Comedy Central special, though. He did a special with them, so you could probably go on iTunes and download Keith's thing. Maybe I should get some of his stuff and play it, but since he's made no effort.
No, I know.
What am I, his manager?
You gonna write his resume for him?
Yeah. All right, Fontaine. Amy is very, very funny, though. You should watch your special.
I will, and I can't wait till you come back to Virginia. Unfortunately, you got snowed out last time.
Yes.
And have a good set all week, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday at Caroline.
Thank you.
212-757-3100 for Jim Norton.
Fontaine!
Oh, I fucking love these people. Thank you, sir. You are a fantastic caller.
What a gentleman.
Joe in Oregon with a blackout story. Did you want to compliment Amy's blackout story, or did you have a blackout story?
I have a fantastic blackout story, but Amy, I've never heard of your stuff, so I can't really compliment you.
No worries.
But Mr. Norton, I travel full time driving over the country, and you've almost got me killed a few times. I've been laughing so hard.
Why, they drop the N-bomb with your window open?
No. Actually, you know what? Quick funny story. I was at a Taco Bell drive-thru, and my satellite radio went off, and the second the girl opened the door, you said fucking faggot really loud.
Wow.
That's the first thing you heard. I'm sitting there like, oh, my God.
Wow.
But anyways,
I've actually yelled that into the mirror many times. Angrily. Go ahead, sir.
When I was younger in high school, we used to drink, but we were engineered of drunks. I mean, we would just do stupid shit, beer bongs, rubbing coke. Anyways, it was after a post-prom party, and my friend and his girlfriend at the time kind of disappeared and went off in his truck out in the middle of nowhere. She was blowing him outside of his truck, and he had left the condom on top of the SUV. And then they got inside, and I started fucking around, and it was cold out this time of year.
Wait, he left the condom on the hood like it was a cup of coffee?
On the top of the truck. Yeah,
Okay.
on the top, on the very top.
Okay.
And this is a nice little SUV, has running boards and whatnot, which is going to be important later on in the story. Well, they can't
Sir, how
find
long
the
is
condom.
this story? It's
a novel.
Truckers, we love truckers, but you guys do tend to be a little bit... Let's see if we can narrow it down, just because we only have a few minutes left.
Okay, quickly, he went to go find the condom, still on the running boards. His girlfriend got cold and shut the door. Well, shut the door on his dick, and he passed out from the pain instantly. Wakes up in a hospital, stitches in his cock, has no clue how he got there.
Jesus.
Is that now? That sounds like an urban legend. Is that a true story?
No, true story. I'm the one that had to pick him up at the hospital.
Wow, the door closed on
Where
his
was
dick.
his girlfriend?
Yeah,
She
no.
couldn't swing by, give him a lift after almost castrating him? Jesus.
Well, that luckily, though, it didn't get the locking mechanism. It just, I guess, it bounced. So he got his car, and it literally looked like someone had slammed a ketchup packet in the door, and there was blood everywhere.
Well, you know he's not Asian. That's one thing we'll say about your friend. So you picked your black friend up at the... All right, well, thank you for the story, sir. I guess that one's a tough one to top. Cock closing the door. I've never heard that before.
It's a shame.
Do you find, when you're on the road and you're doing gigs, again, my crowds love Amy, and my crowds can be very, very difficult, and they're aggressive, and they're animals, but Amy's not apologetic. You're extremely funny and aggressive with the crowd, and I've seen you handle hecklers. Has anything been yelled at you that really hurt? Like, that bothered you?
No, nothing I can think of. What bothers me is if it looks like I hurt someone's feelings. That's only happened like 2 times where I was totally just joking, and I wouldn't say anything like mean that I thought would hurt someone's feelings, but like there have been 2 times where I said something that I thought was like the perfect reference, and the person, like, it hit a little too close to home, and I could see that they were actually hurt rather than just what, people usually are. And that made me feel worse than anything. Like, if somebody was like, you're fucking gross, that I would rather that than somebody look like I actually hurt their feelings.
Yeah, it's once in a while. I saw Otto, actually. We had Otto on Opie and Anthony today. And he one time, I was down at the shore watching him do a gig, and there's a guy in the wheelchair sitting off to the side, and Otto looked at him and said, what, are you waiting for a better seat? And the crowd was like, oh.
But the guy was probably fine.
It was great. He attacked the guy in a wheelchair. I loved it. It's like people with, like, fucking disabled or whatever think that they're above being, and the guy was fine with it, but the audience kind of felt bad for him.
Yeah, those people, like, one time, this woman had like leg braces, and I was like talking to her, and everybody else was getting awkward, but she was really cool with it. And then once people realized she was on board, then everybody like chills out, and I got to, make fun of her legs.
Right, it's always awkward when you have. What's worse though, when you're doing a show and you see a burn victim walk in, and they start walking towards the front of the room, you're like, there goes 20 minutes of material out the fucking window.
Or toward the kitchen, and you're like, not again! Stay out of there.
And how do you handle bombing? I've never seen you bomb. I always ask people, even guys I know a long time about it, because I think it's the most fascinating element of what we do.
Yeah. Well, it's like always changing how I handle it, because I used to just bomb. Like, I did that last comic tour of the whole country, and we had to do like a mandatory meet and greet after each one, and sometimes it would be a theater with like 200 people, but we did like arenas with up to 5,000 people. So I would this was like 3-4 years ago, and I would bomb.
Really?
Like in arenas. Yeah, because I hadn't been doing it that long. Like, at first a joke wouldn't work, and I'd be like, oh, sorry, like, hope you like this next one, like tap dancing through my act. Like, I gave a shit. And then from bombing so much, I was like, no, I think this shit is funny. That's why I'm saying it.
Right.
So if you don't like it, fuck you. I've seen you do that on stage. If the crowd turns on you at all, if they're like, ooh, you're like, fuck you. And that's the best thing you can do, because you're like, no, this is the shit I'm saying, and I think it's funny, and if you don't like it, go fuck yourself. You can pick up a mic and say the opposite if you want.
I find that's what's the most enraging part. It's not if they don't laugh because they don't think the joke is good, but when they start to judge it It really, that's to me the only way. It's like when if you do a racial joke and someone says you're a racist, the only way to meet that is with belligerence and to be fucking vehement back at them and don't go, well, maybe, I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, well, I should really take a look at myself. No, I wouldn't joke about anything that I didn't just think was funny and based in a little bit of truth, for me. Like if there's a racist joke, it's because of there's stereotypes that are out there that we all know, So I'm not going to act like my black friends know how to swim.
Yeah.
Why would I, like it's true. A lot of black people cannot swim. Why aren't we allowed to talk about that? Because our first grade teacher told us we can't. Well, as a comedian, you can say whatever you want.
I think that's actually the first thing I say when I meet a black person. It's like, I've heard you're a shitty swimmer. Comment?
Would you like some floaties, sir? Yeah.
So what did you do before comedy? It's funny. I know, Amy, it's weird how, like, when you know people, but you don't, there's so many weird shit you don't know about them. Like, what did you do before you did stand-up?
I had a lot of jobs. I guess the most interesting, I was a petty cab driver in Santa Barbara. Like, I had like the rickshaw on the bike. And I think that's funny because, first of all, it was like in Santa Barbara. Have you been there? It's like there's this main street called State Street. It's like this big hill. And I would just like ride to the top of the hill and hope people just wanted to go down.
Right.
But that never happened. And I was like, I was in okay shape, but a bunch of times I'd be like, everybody out, we all have to push this shit up the hill. But I was living with a boyfriend out there who wasn't working. And his like family was rich, so I was like, we'll be fine. But I'd be like riding all night, like sweating, and he'd like be like, come here, I need money for Chinese food. And I'd be like, here, I love you. Like riding off, and in retrospect, I'm like, wow, what a piece of shit. But at the time, you're like, things will work out, everybody's nice, and life is awesome.
Like a fucking Tracy Chapman song.
Yeah, but really, I was just a fucking rickshaw driver for a summer.
Wow, what did you do? Did you just kind of like pretend you didn't see fat people? How awful was it when you see a fatso waving you down?
Oh yeah, I would act like I was blind, and they're like, you're riding a bike, bitch. And I'm like, I can't. I ride like I was asleep, like pedaling. I'd act like I was sleeping.
Yeah, and they could see that there's nobody in your pedicab. How humiliating being fat.
Oh god, it was a nightmare. I definitely like said no to a lot of people.
You have to. I mean, like the cabbies don't want to pick people up. It's a little easier if you're a cabbie to avoid somebody, but if you're on a bicycle. Hey!
Like you can't pretend like you don't hear them. Yeah.
What are you signaling me for, Steve? I'm sorry.
Bit. Eddie Murphy.
That's a very short bit.
Yeah, but we have one more commercial as well.
Oh, we do. All right, we'll play a 1-minute bit and come right back. Eddie Murphy.
My whole act back then was about taking the shit, because that's all I had done at 15. That was
welcome back with the Eddie Murphy Experimental Hour, Jim Norton Show. I'm here with Amy Schumer. We're hanging out, and Amy and I are going to be on Fox and Friends together tomorrow, unless they boot me for not setting my talking points fast enough, but I've been working all day. They might. And I'll be at Caroline this weekend. Amy will be where?
San Jose Improv, June 9th through the 14th.
Yeah, we have to throw our plugs out there. We have to get to a commercial, too. We're going to get to a commercial and then come back and close it out. And I'm here every Thursday. We're going to try to be live as much as we can, taking phone calls. I'm going to go over a couple of quick calls, just a couple of quick things. Real quick, Brian in Pennsylvania. Can we get Brian in Pennsylvania if you wanted to compliment Amy?
Yep, I was just wanted to tell what a great attitude, man. She is freaking hysterical with her stories and her attitude, and can't wait to see a lot of her material. I'll have to check it out online. Haven't heard it before, but my God, keep it up. Good work. Jim, love your show and love your act, too.
Thanks very much, man.
Thank you.
Yeah, Amy thinks like a comic, man, and that's, again, I love Sarah for that reason, too. She's brutal and racial. There's a lot of great comments.
I love that about Sarah. It doesn't even occur to her that people are going to be offended.
No.
People she wants to offend people. No, I think she says what's funny and she doesn't even think about it.
When she had a joke where she said, I was on a plane sitting next to a baby and I was making him laugh. And she's like, you know what makes babies laugh? Ethnic humor. I might be butchering her joke, but anyone that doesn't like Sarah's like, she's fucking funny.
Oh, she's fucking hilarious.
And what is Dave? Amy, how gay audience? Dave in Brooklyn, you're asking Amy about gay audiences.
Yeah, what's going on, Amy? I'm a huge fan of your work as well, from Last Comedy Central special. I even watched that Reality Bites Back show.
Holy shit, you were the only one.
I know, it's pretty rough. I wanted to know how the gay audiences respond to you.
Oh, I love gay crowds. Like, the gay audiences have been absolutely amazing. But they're another example of, like, you have to own it. Like, I said this one joke once in front of an all-gay audience a couple years ago. I was like, my friend's cat just died. And I feel like when we're younger, if your pet dies, it's, like, because they got hit by a car or something. But now animals are dying of all these sophisticated diseases. So she called me. She's like, oh, my cat died. I'm like, oh, what happened, car? And she's like, AIDS. And I'm like, oh my God, I didn't even know your cat was gay. Now, like, a couple years ago, I wasn't owning it, and the crowd totally turned on me because I was like, sorry. But now, like, I say that in front of a gay crowd, and they're like, they go crazy. They love it. They're like, you're a fucking cunt. And they love it.
Did it lose the audience for you for real?
Yeah, because I didn't own it. I said it, and then I kind of looked at them like, okay. And they were like, boo. I was like, oh, shit. But no, gay crowds are, like, some of my favorite. Like, black crowds and gay crowds are the best.
Wow, those are the two that hate me the most.
I could see it. But
I don't. Oh no, Jim, you're okay by us.
Oh, you're gay. Thank you,
nice.
sir. Thank you, Dave.
We like people who push the envelope as much as possible, so you fit right in.
All right.
Thank you.
Thanks so much,
Be careful
guys.
where you're pushing your envelope.
Exactly.
Always wrap it up.
All right, we have to get to a quick commercial. Boy, what's worse than when your throat backing up when you're throwing the
commercial? Come back.
Jesus, I sound like a fucking defendant in a child abduction case. All right,
Who's asking for it?
We'll be right back in a couple of minutes. Don't leave because we're going to wrap it up. Well, thank you for sticking with us. Welcome back. Whatever you're supposed to say.
You are bad at that.
I really am terrible. Again, it's low self-esteem, though. I'm never going to be a smooth, great radio guy.
They say you can tell about someone's self-esteem how they like write their name. Like, do you write your name small?
I put mine with a fist going to either side of it.
That is really aggressive.
Do I write my name small? No, I have a weird signature. My father has an amazing signature. He has a great fucking signature. I don't know if I believe in handwriting analysis, but if you write your name small, what's it mean? That you probably had OCD and you were molested as a child, you're compartmentalizing?
Specifically by your aunt. No, that you just have lower self-esteem. You're like, oh, I shouldn't take up any room. Really? And the people, that's, who knows.
But is that a self-esteem issue, or is it that a lot of OCD people write very small? They write very neat and small because they don't want sloppiness. You like that? That's psychosis.
Yeah.
So maybe that's just a part of being OCD, and their name being sloppy maybe that represents order to them.
I don't know. I hope handwriting doesn't mean shit. I have the worst handwriting. Like, you would think like a Down syndrome 3-year-old wrote it.
Oh, really?
Oh my God. Unbelievable.
Retards have notoriously horrendous handwriting.
I don't know who's giving them pens.
All right. Here with Amy making fun of retard. It's so weird because Amy's my friend. It's so weird. I can't interview a friend. You can't do it. It's just not a natural.
No. And I have nothing to say.
No, you do. You're really funny. And I know you're saying that just fucking around, but it's like it's very weird when you're asking your friend questions that you kind of know the answer to. So, relationships.
How about, but the worst of that is Byron Allen. I'm sure of Comics Unleashed.
Well, that show's so natural. Everybody just riffing.
If you even try to riff, I heard they retape it. He'll be like, somebody's like, oh yeah, and then, my mom died. And then he's like, okay, great. John, you have a dog. Everyone's like, that was so unnatural.
Yeah, I've never done the show. They've asked me to because it's just comedians doing their acts.
Oh, it's horrible. And then pretending to laugh at each other.
That's
what
the worst
could be
part.
more disgusting? It's fun in watching comics interact because we all trash each other.
Right.
That's my favorite part about the Comedy Cellar. Just watching you guys just do your best to be as mean as you possibly can to each other.
But that is the way we interact, and it's what made Tough Crowd a good show. And it's like that's how comics are. If people want comics just to be kind of funny, we're kind of mean to each other.
It makes me so comfortable. It's so, how uncomfortable is it if somebody actually asks how you're doing? Like, nobody wants to hear that. I'd want someone to be like, nice shirt. What are you, fucking retarded? I want people to. I need that to be comfortable.
It's like, if you walk into the cellar and you try to be too chipper, somebody will attack you for it. Normally, Colin. So, hey, man, Colin, congratulations on that thing. I don't like Norton, and it's phony.
He's the biggest phony fraud.
Yeah, it's phony altruism.
Biting his finger.
Yeah, or whatever it'd say. But there's something about it. That was the thing about Tough Crowd was so great was if you said anything that was applause generating on purpose, that cheap slut applause that some comics go for, like, come on, back me up, and everybody clapped. They fucking spit on you for it.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's the worst. It's like, what's the funniest is honesty and real moments and making fun of each other where you're most vulnerable.
People think that mean humor has no place on television anymore, which is why I think everybody loved the Leno, Conan, Letterman thing, because it was mean.
Yeah, people were interested.
Really mean to each other, and I think people kind of got caught up in the fact that these guys that we see being nice and being funny every night, whether you like Jay, you like Conan or Letterman, it didn't matter. It was three guys that were really fucking kind of throwing punches.
Yeah, and I mean Don Rickles, you can't get much meaner than that, and people tuned in for that forever. But now it's they're all trying to be so PC, the late night shows. Well, not all of them.
Right.
Kimmel will go for it, but I don't know. I feel like most of the late night shows are still pretty protected, even though They have license to not be.
Did you see? Oh yeah, I saw you at the Joan Rivers. That's the last time I saw Amy. I saw at the Joan Rivers premiere for her documentary, which I think Joan is one of the most underrated comics ever, because she should be mentioned right after Pryor and those guys, because she really is. She's fucking caustic. She's funny. She's mean. And
she's a million, and she's still hilarious and will just level you with a look. Like, I think she's amazing.
She's vicious, and it's really weird how she's not given the respect that other comics.
Why do you think that is?
I don't know. I think people associate her with just the catchphrase, "Can we talk?"
And the red carpet. You know, unless a lot of people probably wouldn't even know that she's a comic, because they just know her trashing people's outfits.
And she hates, by the way, when females say, like, you really paved the way. She's like, fuck you. Did you see the documentary?
Yeah. And she said that in her New York Magazine interview.
Oh,
she's just like, she's like, fuck you. Get me a date on the road. Which is, what's more comic than that? That, you know, how could she be more of a comic than that? You know, helping Kathy Griffin along, but also being like, she's taking all my fucking road dates.
Yeah, she kind of hates Kathy Griffin. She's resentful of her youth and the fact that she's, kind of taking over.
She's taking the gays. She's taking whatever. Like, you just have to love her for that. And she's open about it. She's honest. She's not trying to pretend like she's everybody's friend, but she has a total respect for comics. When I went over to her at the party, and I talked to her, she was just like, and I didn't say pave the way or anything, thank God.
Yeah.
But I was just like, you're awesome, whatever. And when she found out I was a comic, she's like, oh great, this is where the comics are gonna hang out. Like, you could tell comics want to hang out with other comics, and she still feels that way. She doesn't want all the bullshit people around her.
I've never had a shit reaction. We have to wrap up. Okay, I've never had a shitty reaction from comedians when meeting them. I've met actors or athletes that were all twats, but comics have always, for as mean as they can be, have always been very cool.
Yeah.
What a fucking faggoty way to end the show.
Comedians are nice.
Yeah, really. All kidding aside, guys, we do love each other. There's a replay of this dreck on Saturday, 6 o'clock East, 3 o'clock West.
Take your Saturday nap to it.
Yeah, and I apologize for that fucking mushy ending. You know, God bless Joe. Really, God love her. I'm my fucking aunt.
What a wonderful lady.
Yeah. So we'll see you guys next week. AmySchumer.com. You can see Amy in San Diego,
San Jose,
whatever.
June 9th through the 14th.
Yeah, there's something where the Mexicans live. June.
Lots of Mexicans.
June what?
June 9th through the 14th.
Okay, and I'll be at Caroline's tonight through fucking Sunday. So sorry for the sloppy ending.
Gotta treat everybody like criminals, man. Because if people don't get treated the same, they don't. I mean, that's just life, you know. We treat people differently, you know. Like, okay, like, you know, in the news, like, whenever you see, like, a missing girl or something, you know, like the girl go down to the islands or something, she's missing, it's all over the news, you know. She comes from a good family, so it's all over the news, you know. You know, you never see the story about the missing hooker. You never hear Wolf Blitzer go, where's Diamond? Hookers can go missing, they don't look for them. You could actually kill a stripper, kill a hooker and get away with it. You could. People don't investigate the death of a hooker. They don't. The only time they do is like when the killer goes crazy and kills like 8 more hookers. And then finally somebody goes, hey, what happened to all our hoes? We are missing some hoes. Yes, I would like to file a missing hoe report. Because it's the value, man. You know, and I know whores. I do. I work with them. I when I did my show, Wanda Does It, I went to the chicken ranch. And I work with them. I'm telling you, very nice people, very nice, you know. And first, on the way there, I was nervous. I was like, yo, is this going to be funny? Because they're whores. I mean, when you're a whore, something went awry, you know. That's not really your fairy tale ending. Yeah, you never read it. And then she became a whore, and they lived happily ever after. When we got there, the lady who ran the place, the manager, the madam, the whole wrangler, I don't know what she was cool, and you know, she introduced me to my coworkers, you know, the girls, and the girls were like, hey, it's just our job. This is what we do. You know, I'm like, well, okay, ho, all right. they're right. It's just what they do, you know. And maybe they can't type 65 words a minute, but they suck good dick. I mean, you gotta go with your strengths. That's what I'm saying. And they had a whole system too. It was very interesting, you know. Like what would happen when a guy would show up, you know, horny bastard. They would ring the bell, and the girls, they had all their shoes lined up in the hallway, so they would run and put their shoes on to go do the lineup, you know, because the whole shoes are like this high, and you don't lounge around in your whole shoes. I mean, you know, when you slip those babies on, you on the clock. So the girls said they would ring the bell like, ding, 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 horny bastards here, horny bastards here. And we would all run out and put on our shoes. I'm like, girl, we like firemen, huh? Yeah. It's like, ding, 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 woo, dick on fire, dick on fire. We gotta go blow out the dick. Woo.